Hello. So I had a couple of people reach out and ask about some of the organization that I have over here. So I'm just going to talk about some of the things that are in not only this office, but the other offices here at the 20% Club as well, and why they're here and all that kind of stuff. So these are all things that I keep at my fingertips and I can grab in about a second. So again, I'm Lynn Hazelman. I am the owner of the 20% Club, and we specialize in coaching for dyslexia, remediating students, generally using the Barton system. So handwriting without tears, I keep a script right in front of me. These are laminated. I got them from the website, I believe. I have numbers, I have letters, I have capital letters, I have lowercase print, and I have cursive in here. They're all together, so anytime that I need to grab them, just drop something, to show students the correct formation, I've got them right here. Okay. The next thing that I always have at my fingertips are some of the Barton Essentials. So this is a word frame. This is actually from some curriculum that I purchased. Somebody laminated this, and I don't hate it because when we're using this word frame, students can go ahead and divide directly on the paper by using one of our dry erase markers. Okay. Other things I use. These are, let's see, the Plain Eye Reading Ruler. So it's just a reading guide. I like these. It has the line on the top. I usually let the kids choose their favorite color. They come in a pack of about 20 or something like that. They're pretty inexpensive. For some of my kids, this is very, very important. Some kids that might have some convergence insufficiencies where their eyes are skipping lines. Something like this is very helpful. Otherwise, they have to use their finger when they're reading. So either one, they've got to choose one. It's non-negotiable. So that's another thing that we use. And we keep at our fingertips. I have a boogie board here. Again, another thing that's super inexpensive. We use this a lot when we're working on sight words, just kind of a fun way for kids to be able to write their sight words, maybe instead of tracing on the, instead of tracing, maybe they'll use that. Expo is the only brand that I use. So we use the super ultra thin is the tip that we use. And we use that on all of our blue pages, all of the student pages. We find that they work best. The red ones aren't super great because they actually, I don't know if they have a different kind of dye or something. They are harder to get off. But once the student is done, we sanitize the pages and clean them off by using a handy dandy wipey. So that will keep your pages clean. And sanitized as well, coming off of, still coming off a little bit of COVID stuff. We do want those pages to be clean in case somebody's coughed on them when they were dividing their words. Okay. The only kind of pens that we're going to use here are the Pilot G2s. I always let the kids choose their colors. Sometimes they name my pens. So we've got Big Orange and we've got Miss Blueberry. So sometimes we name our pens, but they get to choose the color that they're feeling for the day, which is kind of fun. We do not use pencils. We never use pencils. I do not want kids erasing. I want to see a record of their work. So if they make a mistake, one line through that mistake, and then we start writing again. And again, we use all of the handwriting without tears paper. So we use the 2 lines, and we keep a good record. Speaking of records, that's where each of my kids has a folder here. So that includes, this is sight words. So this is where I keep all their sight words in here. So this is one of our clients here, and she's got, the word through in here. Let's see if I can get that. she has her little hint in the corner and everything like that. So she only has a few sight words in here, but that's where we keep them. I also have, she's in level 4, so this is all of her level 4 work that she's done. Again, anytime she makes an error, one line through, not a bunch of scribbles, no erasing, never use an eraser. We never do that. I want to see it. So, this is also her sight words running record. So she actually, this is the record keeping that I use. This is available in my TPT store if you want. But this is, you know, the words that she has. And this is her clicking them off. So you can see exactly how many words she has. This is her reading side. This is her spelling side. Pretty typical of a lot of kids. We use, you know, they're all labeled with that green just so it looks a little bit nicer. Anyhow, so that's all the kiddos up there. Now let's take a look at what we have over a little bit farther over here. So again, all this stuff is right at my fingertips for any time that I need it. We've gone through the pens. I also keep, this is a, what is this lady's name? Mrs. something, something. Mrs. Wordsmith. We always do kind of a vocabulary one of the day. Precipitous, because a lot of our kids need some extra vocab. So that's always sitting here. The kids can come in, see what the word of the day is. My husband made me some card holders, but there are card holders in the other rooms as well. So this one's made out of an old table. So if you have a handy dandy woodworker in your house, you could do something like this. But we use card holders all the time. They fit very nicely into this little shelf. So this is my shelf. This is where I grab everything. We use this to count our syllables. So if I was going to give the student a word, regret, they would repeat it, regret, and then they would punch it, regret. So that's right here as well. Syllable sliders right here. Let's see if you can see these a little bit better on, yeah, right there. I think these are made by Cardinal something, but we use these all the time. So if your student had a page and they needed, we use them on the cards a lot. This is where we use them. So if my student is having trouble, if we're playing Go Fish and they are having trouble decoding a word, I would hand them the syllable slider and they would be able to look at this word and slide it without marking up the card. So this word is sprocket. So syllable slider. And these are just attached with a little tiny, I don't know what those fancy paper clips are called, the claw clips. Franklin Spell Checker. I use it all the time. If you're not using it, I feel like your student is missing out a little bit on showing you that they know exactly what sounds are missing. You're missing out on them being able to tell you that they recognize that there's a schwa sound. Mirror, especially for the beginning. Students not only do they like to look at themselves, but it's super important for deciding what kind of sound they're making. So lip, tongue, that kind of thing. If they're doing foundations of sound, if they're not doing foundations of sound, you should have a mirror by you. A lot of my students that struggle with the F, TH, and V sound, they want to see how it's made. So the difference between f and oh, look, your tongue's sticking out, that kind of thing. So that's right here. All of my rule cards are back here. And once again, you know what I'm going to say, they're color-coded. So level 6, they're all right here, color-coded. They're all laminated. Here is my level 4. And while they're not all color-coded, the beginning is color-coded. So level 4, yellow. Level 6, blue. They're all right here because I got so sick and tired of looking and grabbing the wrong ones all the time. And so I color-coded them and they're all right here. So I can grab those. They fit in there really nicely, really easily. Weird but true. You can see that we use these all the time. I actually have 2. When do I use these? I use these when we're reading sentences to give them a little brain break. So when they're done reading a sentence, if they have worked really hard, especially in the upper levels where, you know, we're really decoding magnetic resonance imaging or something like that, and they've decoded that big long sentence, they get rewarded with a little tiny brain break, which is just a weird fact right here. So those are great. We use those all the time. Of course, I've got Kleenex here. I've got wet wipes here. I have my business cards here. We keep all of our, these are the Go Fish cards that you can print from the Barton Tutor website. And so this is level 4, lesson 4, and this is actually how we organize them. We keep them so that when I open my drawers back here, I have all my level 4 cards. They are all labeled, paper clipped, so I can grab level 4.4 really quickly, really easily. I can see it from the top and I don't have to look through them. Sometimes I put them back really fast, but I do go back and reorganize them. I also have idiom cards here. So sometimes if we're taking a brain break, I will pull out some idiom cards and see what they know as far as that goes. I keep tiles handy just in case. You never know when you're going to need those. I also keep another set of tiles, and I also have some magnetic markers right here. I use those when we're working on isolating sounds. So I might use those in conjunction with something like this. I keep this really handy. This is a tens frame, usually used for math. But let's say I was asking them to decode the word bat, bat, bat. How many sounds do you hear? Oh, I hear b, at, b, a, t. Okay, so here's my 3 sounds, b, at. Okay, let's assign the letters, b, a, t. Okay, now write it, bat. Okay, so that might be how I use my tens frames. Sometimes I use it for syllables. Sometimes I use it for individual sounds. I will clean that up later. And then the last thing that I have sitting here all the time are things that I'm going to need. So I have created just a ton of resources. I mean, I've been doing this for like 10 years, so I have a lot of resources. They're all aligned. So if I need to grab, you know, if I need, this is something that I've created, you know, for level 4 when they're learning vowel teams, I'm going to grab it, you know, it's going to be right here ready for me. You know, again, level 4, it's all yellow. It's all right here. That's also for the tutors that work here. That's also in, that stuff is also in the notebook that you're given. But yeah, so everything's right here. That's kind of the quick rundown on what is at my fingertips. So let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for joining me today. Have a great day.